Hello, this is Katie. Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be using Treat Yourself from Honeybee Stamps, and I'm admiring their already cut apart dies, which is genius. So every other stamp company, please do that as well, because I hate cutting apart dies. I'm going to be using my TRIBLEND markers. This is Marker Monday episode 14. We are on week 14 of videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I'll be zooming in further in just a little bit, right about when I get to like the whipped cream on this pie, so you can see close up, more closer up coloring. I'm going to be using my TRIBLEND markers, Spectrum Noir TRIBLEND markers, and I'm going to be using colors that I don't normally reach for. So I actually wrote down each kind of large item that I stamped. I stamped 2 sheets that you saw in the beginning with my MFT Extreme Black Hybrid ink, which has been working pretty well and works well through this whole coloring session, which I'm thankful for. I wrote down each large item, and then I wrote the things within that item. So like crust, pie base, whipped cream, etc. And the color that I wanted to use, and so that I could do this a little quicker for you. I did speed it up 2 times, but I wanted to pre-plan my colors. I was going to do it with Copics, but I always just get overwhelmed trying to come up with Copic combinations. So again, I reached for my TRIBLENDs, but I think it turned out really, really good. I'm really happy with how all of these images turned out. And I am also coloring a lot more slowly and more careful than I usually do. This is sped up 2 times, like I said, so it does look kind of fast, but I was being a lot more careful and going slower, so I didn't, go outside the lines like I normally do with these bullet nib markers. So that helped a lot. I think just taking more care and attention to what I'm coloring. And I won't be making a card in this video because this is a lot of coloring and it was already so long. I will eventually make a card out of these images, maybe a couple cards, maybe 3. And I'll link my Instagram down below so you can keep an eye out for what I end up doing with them. I will post any cards that I make with these. And I stamped 4 of every set. There were a lot of items in this set, so I put images into my Misty twice, and I stamped 4 sheets of each, so I have plenty to color. This jade green shades is like super Starbucksy. It's like Starbucks green, so I can't not use it on like every Starbucks looking coffee cup I come across. And when I have like a rounded cup, which is kind of every cup in this set, I try to do, the lightest in the center. And it's kind of hard, especially with a bullet nib, to get that look a little smoother rather than having that brush tip. But going over all of it a little bit with the lightest one helped as well. There's also something I do on a couple of the other cups, like right at the end, to make the blend look a little bit better. So I'll talk about that as well when using these. The earth brown blend looked like a good color for the cardboard. There's another one, I think it's the red brown blend, that looks pretty good for the cardboard sleeves. It's probably even a closer color than this one. But I just wanted to use this one on this cup. So then I'll fill in the middle with the lightest, but then I usually kind of do a wider swipe if I can really quickly. And it does help kind of bring it all together right at the end. I think this cake pop is hilarious because that's what they look like at Starbucks if you go. I think it's really just for children, so Starbucks probably makes all their money on cake pops, I'm convinced. My camera kind of does this weird wobbling thing when I'm zoomed in pretty close, so I'm hoping it's not making you dizzy. Like it's trying to focus on what I'm doing, but it keeps refocusing, so I'm hoping it's not being too crazy. And I do end up missing a couple tiny areas with that pale pink shades, which is the darker. The pale pink blend is the base of the cake pop. So I'm going to go back in with the pale pink shades, just like the lightest one, and fill in any of those tiny gaps that I catch in the next minute or so. And then for the sprinkles, I'm going to use, these are kind of like what I would imagine those silver, I don't even know how to say it. It's like nonpareils. I have no idea why there's a really super weird fancy French name for sprinkle balls, but they're sprinkle balls. And their silver ones is just what I'm picturing. So I used the dark end of the gray. And then for the little strip that the sprinkle balls are stuck to, I'm just using, I never use this pink violet blend. The Thorough tricolor blend of the whole marker isn't fantastic. It's not the worst purple. I just don't grab for it. So I decided to kind of throw that in there. I just use the mid color of the pink violet. And then the same sprinkle gray blend for the stick. And then for the hearts, I'm just going to use the dark red blend. It's my favorite red blend. It's just really good. I actually have 2 of these. I bought a backup because I use it so much. But it is one of my favorite blends, like Copic or non. It's just a great red blend. So they did really good with that marker. So just a little close-up of everything I colored. I am obsessed with that pumpkin pie. I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be a coffee pie because it has coffee beans in it, but I don't care. It's pumpkin pie today. And then this color, antique pink blend, I rarely reach for. It's basically just like mauve. That's what I would call it. It's not my favorite, but I had to color a bunch of different cups and I wanted to come up with some different options. And I actually like how it turned out. So I'll probably try and use this color a little bit more. But I don't want, these colors I'm not using to end up just drying out with me having never used them. So unless I really hate the blend, I need to reach for these a lot more. So I think this is the mug where I do the trick. So I filled in the middle and I'm going to do kind of a wider swipe. But then because of that, these edges are kind of forgotten. So I'm going to fill those in with the lightest and it actually kind of fixes the look. And I think I do that on the taller mug as well. So that whole process, dark, mid, fill in the light, and then swipe the light over kind of almost the whole mug. And then you can run down the sides on the left and the right if you need to kind of bring it all together. And then I'm going to assume these are those same silver sprinkles. So I'm just using the dark end. And then I don't really know what this is. It looks like whipped cream with whipped cream on top. I'm very confused. It doesn't really look like a drink. So I'm just going to assume it's some fluffy ass hot chocolate and color it brown just to be different. The mug above it looks to me to be like all whipped cream. So I just color it in. I'm using the same whipped cream color to be consistent. So that gold brown blend for the whip on this one and the pie, I'm going to be using on the mug above this, but I'm just going to use it for the whole thing because I can't tell if there's supposed to be any drink underneath, but it works. And then I'm assuming this is a flower. So I'm using Coral Blend, which I don't use a lot either, but I actually really like this blend. So I need to reach for this one a lot more too. And then the middle of every flower, I always just use the dark end of the citrus blend. And then since I had it open, I decided to color the star with the yellow, which is, it's also the color I use for really any star. And the orange blend in the TRIBLENDS, it is very bright. It's very orangey red on that darkest color. It's not terrible. I would probably have reformulated it a little bit differently. And in their brush tip TRIBLENDS, I think they may have, they did reformulate. It's like they reformulated the original spectrums with the TRIBLENDS. And then from there, when they came out with the TRIBLEND brush markers, they reformulated the colors even further. But I think it's like the darkest is even darker on a blend. So I don't have them. I'm not sure how it is. And I think at this moment there's only 24 and not 48 markers. So I don't know. Crafter's Companion that sells them, I don't understand them. I think they're in the UK, but they are not very good at anything. They're not very good at marketing their products or having one place where you can buy their products or having a website that works. Like they'll have an item and you click on it and then the link is dead. Like it says, oops, there's nothing here. And it's like, okay, you told me there would be. But their website is very confusing. It's like they come out with these things like tri-blend markers. I don't even know how I heard about them. I don't remember. Probably on YouTube. And then I just had to figure it out. And when I did all my reviews, I gave you guys all the links of where to buy them. Like there was one box on Amazon, both boxes on BLICK. There were different ways to buy it on Crafter's Companion website, but like, I don't know. It just seems like a mess. And I feel like they focus heavily on, I'm pretty sure, like the Home Shopping Network. So they advertise on TV, but that's like it. It's like they don't even try to advertise. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. And it's very confusing. And I don't know why you wouldn't just make it easy for people to buy your product. Or have a website that tells you where you can buy things if you can't figure out their website. Anyway. Rant over. This, I'm assuming, and I'm not going to do the see-through cup trying to color in the thing. That's just way too much for me. So I just made it blue. And then I'm assuming what's inside is essentially a pumpkin milkshake from Starbucks. Because if you're drinking a Frappuccino, you're drinking a milkshake. Let's be honest with ourselves. And it is very, very orange because that is the orange that I had. I probably could have done like a mid to light blend, but I don't think it would have looked very different, so that's fine. It can be vibrant. I also don't reach for this aqua blue blend very often, so I decided to do that for this mug here. And as I mentioned, I color my handles like I color animal ears and vice versa, with the dark at the base and then the mid and then the light to finish it off. That's just what looks right to me. So then I'll fill in the middle here. And this one I think was drier than my other markers, only by a tiny bit. So I do a wider thing. And then again, I'm just going to go down the edges and that kind of helps smooth that out a little bit. So it fills it in. Basically, it fills in the edges I can't reach when I'm doing that larger swipe because I don't want to color like crazy outside the lines like I do here. I'm just assuming these are those like stick cookies, the pirouette cookies. We used to eat those all the time when I was little. I got a brand new colorless blender, so now I have two that work. I'm pretty sure my other one was very dry. This one's very juicy, so that came up very easily. I got that with my order of the Christmas My Favorite Things paper pad, which was super cute. And this stamp set and the dies I ordered from Doodlebugs, Washington. It came the next day. I am like 3 hours away from her, to be fair, but she ships very quickly and it moves fast. And the USPS, to be honest with you, has been moving faster than it ever has, in my opinion. So I think we're doing okay. They're just trying to scare you into believing it's not. My international stuff that I'm shipping is getting there super quick too. So I'm very impressed with everybody on both ends. This entire thing is whipped cream because why not? So I am going to, I'll link my Instagram down below so you can eventually see what cards I make with this. I'll end up pointing down, but I'm also going to link my Doodlebugs Washington code. If you've never shopped with her, it is free shipping over $30. She's amazing and she ships very quickly and she has a bunch of good stuff like this stamp set. I'm hoping it's in stock. I'm sorry if it's not. And so I'm going to link my link down below because if you haven't shopped there yet and you shop with my link, you can get 15% off your first order and it gives me like fun points. And so I will link all that down below. And Thank you for watching. I'm really happy with how these turned out. I love this stamp set. I'm going to use it a lot. And I'll link everything down below. And I hope you enjoyed. And I will see you guys for Watercolor Wednesday. Thank you for watching. Bye.